this moment that we're sharing. Beautiful one, I must tell you. And as we cruise on, you will be discovering and you will be, asking questions within yourself. What next to do after this presentation? We are living in an era of abundance with more kids staying indoors rather than playing outside. In addition to this, with the rise in popularity of technology, kids are also choosing sedentary activities over physical activities within their own free time, coupling their activities with mindless snacking and other unhealthy habits, which of course we all know this. And we look around and keep thinking the best solution on handling or solving this. I tell you, sports, football. We are going to get to the stage where I'm going to tell you why football. Now, I'll tell you some few points. Let's take this, let's strike on the balance now. We've talked about sports, we've talked about the discovery, development. We know this, but now let's look at the balancing. Life without sports and life with sports. When you look at life without sports, you look at the social disconnection. You look at mostly stress. You look at the physical fatigue. You look at the poor sleep patterns. You look at the obesity. When you look at the other end of life with sports, you see the increase in brain development. You see the decrease in stress. You see the physical fitness. You see that it promotes concentration and promotes good health. So these are qualities. These are when we say we want to strike the balance. These are just but few. Now we are looking at sports and we are looking at the early identification in it. The key to greatness. The pacesetters are often parents. We should not take that away from them. Teachers, coaches, with the primary goals to help children find the path of success in life. Every child can be successful at one sport or the other. Take a time out to find the sport that are right for your children. And at the same time, you look at some of the benefits, you look at some of the responsibility within your domain as a parent, as a guardian, and let's really see how our competence, our concern will change the environment, make our children's future to be more enabling for them by this. This is the proposal. Built in a child-friendly, serene and a secure environment, our propositions is a state-of-the-art football academy that we are putting on ground. Managed by renowned professionals, designed to instill life values in children, prepare them for the tasks ahead in life, position them ahead their peers in every field of endeavor. So what we are talking now, we are saying that now the parents who are the parenting, who are the people responsible for the children, the guidance, our guidance, the teachers as well, the coaches, these are the actors. We are not mentioning the managers and the coaches and the teachers without mentioning the parents. Don't forget the parents are number one. The parents are the first to initiate the move. And I'm glad that we have parents today who are really ready knowing very well the challenges confronting the world today. The world is full of abundance of opportunity, and so we have a lot of negative vices. And this proposal is coming in to explain and give us a pathway on how we can discover the talent in our children. Now, so why football? Like I did mention earlier in the beginning of this presentation, that we will come to a point in this presentation, why football? And we have come to that part, why football? So why football? It's our job to make sure kids are allowed to grow to their full potentials and experience new challenges contributing to their development. In this regards, all names I've mentioned as the top actors, the parents, the coaches, the managers, the teachers, are the ones to now initiate this move. All sports have their advantages, and they will give kids a transferable skill, helping them in multiple field of physical development. But the truth is, football is arguable one of the most well-rounded sports when it comes to ticking off important boxes for example, physical literacy, social development, and cognitive development, and more. If I should go into breaking down this, which we are going to do in our next presentation by next year, where we will be elaborating more on all the topics shared this evening, I look forward to that very moment where we'll be breaking down all these points to you. But for now, we'll just go on and make sure that you enjoy. And if you have questions, please do not hesitate right after this presentation to commence with questioning, just like Moses the Guru have said. Now, let's go further by looking into the benefits from the early age football training. Early age football training will also mean early age discovery. Early age football training will also mean early age parents' decision making in supporting the idea. Football helps children develop better ways to cope with the highs and the lows of life. And very importantly, playing football regularly improves children's overall emotional well-being. Let's look at it. The followings are: the physical fitness of a child matters a lot, goes a long way. The mental strength of a child matters a lot, goes a long way. Constructive use of time, confidence, team spirit, decision making. In life, all those qualities play a very important role in life. We don't have time, sorry to say, we don't have time enough for this first presentation today to elaborate more on this. We shall do more of this elaboration in our next presentation by next year, God's willing. Conclusion. Before I go into conclusion, I'm going to give you a very important part of my life as a child. I started playing football at a tender age, 6. I was playing football. 7, 8, 9, 10, I was still playing football in school. At 10, I was discovered by a man called Tiger from the Nigerian Ports Authority in Port Harcourt, River State. At 6, I was playing with friends, playing in the school team, primary school team. And at that stage, I was a football player. I was not a goalkeeper. I played in the midfield position. I played I played as a striker. I played sometimes as a winger. I played sometimes as a defender. I was a utility player at that tender age, not by professionalism, but of choice. No, I will play right fullback today. Coach, will you put me right fullback? Coach will say, Peter Rufai, sure up. When I finish my selection, I will tell you where you will play. I will wait for the coach. At the point he will say, Peter, can you play right fullback today? I'll say, Coach, yes, I'll play right fullback. But my position normally, coach, is midfield. Coach will say, but you know, the player who is going to play that midfield position, today you are there and you have your other colleague. But in my right fullback, I don't have anybody today. The young boy who should play that position today is not feeling well. So Peter, you have to play that position. Can you? I will just say yes. I was so motivated. I was so happy whenever the coach told me any position I was going to play. But the funniest thing of it all was goalkeeping was never in my agenda. But the way I happened to dabble into goalkeeping, so interesting, so funny. So, I mean, it's something I never forget to flip back to once in a while in my life. But the story of how Peter Rufai became a goalkeeper, we'll leave it for another day, most probably when we'll be having our second session. But now, look at the story of a tender age getting involved into sports. I got involved into sport at that tender age. I left from primary school to vocational college. I did not go to a university. I was not opportune then to go to university. Now, my parents now registered me with a government vocational training center then in Port Harcourt. Now, when I started course in Port Harcourt, right in my first year, the principal of the school, spotted me out. And most of my documents, most of my registration payment, tuition fees that we are supposed to go to the school, the principal paid it for me. Said my parents should not bother, that he's going to pay. My parents insisted. They said, no, they will do it. They thought it was a joke, and that was what happened at my tender age. Now, from that tender age, the coach of Sharks Football Club of Port Harcourt, River State, Mr. Zoan, saw me playing school competition, invited me to come and join Sharks and train with Sharks. When his tenure finished with Sharks, he went back to his country. He's a foreigner. I proceeded on. I finished my school in Port Harcourt in 79. In 79, I left Lagos midnight with the night bus to join stationery stores of Lagos in Lagos. I joined stationery stores in Lagos. Right from that moment, when I joined stationery stores, the next year, the national team invited me. I was still under 21. Now, what am I saying about the getting involved at the tender age? The tender age is when children are so vibrant. They are so inquisitive. They want to know what is around them. They want to know what is happening. They are full of energy. Sometimes they are restless. Sometimes they want to get doing something. That moment is when you as a parent or guardian need to be very observant and see interest of that child in his vibrant act, in his inquisitive acts. If it is not coming close to sporting activity, then it's your responsibility as a parent to now draw your children to see if some of those qualities embedded in children by God Almighty, your son or daughter is having one related to football or swimming or one other sport. Every child have gotten something from God in him or her. At that tender age, I was involved into sports, gave me the ability to exercise myself and get the best out of it. The same thing applies to these names I'm going to mention. Pele, some of you know the great Pele Amaceto from Brazil. Some of you have heard of the late Diego Maradona, may his soul rest in peace. He started at a tender age. Pele started at a tender age. Diego Maradona, same. Now, our Messi that is playing in Barcelona, the same thing applies to Messi. Messi started at a tender age. In fact, if you know more the story of Messi, Lionel Messi, many will think Messi will not be able to run. Messi will not be able to play football because Messi was a child with some challenges, like an imbecile who cannot move or who cannot act. So what am I trying to say by this, by using this point or the name Messi, is to tell you the ability of sports, what sports can do indirectly. Sports can restructure the physical being of your child. If you discover your child has some lack in some area, sports can get your child, restructured in a mystical way that you begin to wonder, how was that possible? Or how is it possible that such can happen? The same thing. And I will go further to unveil some hidden qualities, benefits of sports. Ronaldo was discovered at age 12. The manager that discovered Ronaldo at age 12 happens to be my partner in business, in sports business today. We do the same. We run sporting academies. We run sporting presentations together within Nigeria and outside Nigeria, in Portugal, in Spain, Belgium, Holland. So these are our areas of operation where we work with the government. Now, Ronaldo at a tender age. So what is it saying? You see, most of the European players were all discovered at their tender age. I will tell you about Dembele. I coached Dembele in Belgium. I trained Dembele playing for Tottenham. Dembele was a young boy. I came into Belgium. I came in as a football player. But when I finished my coaching, my football career, when I was almost ending my football career, I now moved to London to partake in coaching courses so that after retirement, I can now look into training. I can now look back and go back into football coaching. So during that process, some of the assignment given to us in the UK on coaching was to go back and work with youths. And I was living in Belgium with my family. So I went back to Belgium from the UK to do as the course directed, the director of the course. So we finished this training in the UK. I came back to Belgium and I was working with youths in Belgium. Among the youths I worked with, Dembele happens to be one of the players. Remarkably, I could go on and give you names. So why this is to tell you that you parents, you guardian, the quality you see, that you admire in our legends that we see today and those who are presently playing, you also have it in your own child. The question here is for you to develop your child's quality. Observation, discover the quality in your child. That is the topic. That is the hidden key in this presentation of discovering and developing and marketing. In conclusion to this, it is long been understood that sports promotes children's health and physical development. But now we have solid evidence to suggest that sports can have a powerful impact on their overall education and life skill development as well. Charlotte Petrie Gonska, former UNICEF Deputy Director, the Executive Director, I quote, says this: "We in turn must use this evidence to inspire investment in sports, especially football, for the benefits of our children." Check it out. And this is where I leave you, parents, guardians, friends. We should look around. The thing you say in Germany, in America, in the UK, with Messi, with the late Maradona, Pele, mention there, Mo Salah, JJ Okocha, Kanu Nwanko, mention them. Is it Falila Togukonya? Mention them on the athletics or whatever you could think of is within you there as a parent or guardian. So look inward. Let's discover the talent in our children. And for the development and the marketing, we know that we have people, we have our guru, Moses. So with this, I leave you, and if you have any question, please do not hesitate to throw in your questions. As DODO MAYANA, I'm fully on ground. I'm not having my gloves to catch your shots, but I catch your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
I'm honored to listen to the legend himself. I'm truly honored. Thank you, Mr. Moses. Okay, like I said, we have 2 boys, twins. They are 9 years old. You know how schools are these days? No playground, no sporting activities. So I was wondering what his advice would be to us as parents. If a child has interest, I mean, these ones, they're interested in football. They try to play around once in a while. How do we go about it? What would be his best advice?
A good question from you, ma'am. I think one of the best way to go about this is hopefully by next year, when we'll be coming up on the second presentation, we'll be providing platforms for such situation where a school or a school of your kid, of your children, if they don't have those facilities needed for such development, we'll be giving you a contact for next year where, if you choose, depending on where you live, your location, and see how we could limit the challenges of traffic in Lagos to ensure that wherever you are, you can get the access of training or registering your children for any of the sporting activity. And good thing, they are in love with football, so that won't be any challenge. We'll be providing you with an address and information, all that needs to be done for you to register your children come next year by God's grace.
All right, Josephine, thank you so much. Like what Dodo have said, the truth is Dodo is ready to give back to the society. So there are plans in place to ensure that every child that have the passion will have the opportunity to learn. So come next year when the program is out, I will surely share the presentation with you and what you need to do. But the first thing is the passion. Now that the children have passion, to be very frank, the first stage is done. And I think having a person like you as a mother is one of the things that most people didn't have in the time of Peter Rufai. So now that you are supporting them, it's a good one. I've taken note of that and work on that.
My question is, at what particular age can we identify talent?
Dodo, you get the question?
No.
You want to cover at what particular age can we identify talent in a child?
You can identify talent in a child as from the age of 3. As long as the child can walk and run, 3 years. 3 years. There are some child at 3 years, they've started running. You can jog with them, you can do a distance of 50 meters and 100 meters in their own pace, not your pace, in their own pace gradually, and you will see the joy and passion in the child to keep doing that jogging with you. Now, after which you will also test it by getting a sporting object, like for example, you get a football. You give a football as a gift to your son or daughter. You see how they cherish it at such tender age. You see how they sit down before television when it is a sporting activity. So from that moment, you start observing them. That is the first assignment of the parents. In some cases, some parents never knew that they are hindrance in a way, not that because they knew. No parents will want to be a hindrance to his child. No parents. I've never read it in any book, not even in the holy books. So that is for sure. But the point here is that because parents does not have the clue on most of the activities of life, we cannot be master of everything. We cannot know everything. So this is why when such presentation come across, we thank God that, oh, this presentation of such opportune to witness it, because you see and you hear certain things and you say, had I known, I would have done it this way. So parents are the first before mention any other second party. In observation, in discovering that talent, parents are paramount in this case. So discovering talent, you could discover them right from tender age, based on your observation as a parent, before that of the professionals, the expertise, those experts in the different sporting field. I hope you get that clear.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, there is this question of some parents in Abuja, and because of their kids too are in Abuja. One other way we could cover Abuja will be, first and foremost, first thing first, getting the presentation done. If this person could get the parents that are interested together so that we can have a session just like what we've had today, we're having today, we could have the same in Abuja, then why not? We could always move. We've been doing this where we know what we do. There is a saying, if you know how you get to the top, you can always come back and climb again to the top. So what we do, what we know how to do, if it is in Abuja, anywhere in Nigeria, we could do it as long as first thing first is done. So once you can get the parents that are interested in Abuja, then we set up a meeting and there we go. So there is no problem.
My question has to do, you talked about developing life skills through sport, right?
Yeah, development, right? Yeah.
Developing life skills.
Yes.
Through sport.
Yes.
And you also mentioned early detection, but somehow in some cases the mistake has already been done. So how do I overcome this mistake? How do I make this correction before even making sure that the child becomes a sport woman? Right now, this instance, of a child who is 10 years old, but already weighs 102. So it's not just easy for me to take that child to the field or running around. It's going to look very much better. So from where do I start? Which would be the steps, the appropriate steps to take to make sure that this child becomes a full sportsman?
What they say, first thing first. Like, permit me to give you this illustration. I have in the present academy now, where we train youths of from the ages of 3 years and 17. Now, this child happens to be 10 years old, and the child is already weighing 106. A 10-year-old boy weighing 106. So in a situation of this, is just to get him back the basics, where the training suitable for such situation can be applied. That is one. Secondly, we work with nutritionists. Now, with the situation now, you might be thinking that, okay, now you've met that first phase, which is so important. Then what am I going to do, or how am I going to come back to that situation? No, what ought to be done in such situation is getting your child registered. And from that, the technical department and the management of the sporting center will now begin to work on your child. So there is nothing to be scared about, thinking that probably you've lost it all. You've not lost it all. You're still within the range. You know, we have them in phases, and the better the expertise, the better for the solution. So in this case, you have no cause for regrets or cause for alarm. The expertise are going to take care of it. The good thing is that you finally get to know. Once you get to know, the remedy will be there, except when you don't know.
From what he has said so far, we've heard a lot from him. We've learned a lot from him. Prior to this program, my understanding about talent and skills development boils down to the individual parenting. That is what your parents want you to be, not actually what you want to be. But the narrative have changed in this our generation, where parent begins to know that you have to give your words what you actually want and not what you want, because when you want to give them what you want, they might not have interest in what you want them to be. But if it is what they want to be, they might develop more interest in that which they want to be. Thank you.
Very much, Mr. Rufai, for the answers. And I'm saying that generally, even as adults, is it ever too late to discover one's talent? Is there a time where you feel that if you're not a child, it's over, and I'm not 6 years, I'm not for 17? Is it ever too late for one to discover his or her talent, even as adults? Is there a time frame for talent discovery? That was the question I dropped. And then before I hand hands up, I really want to appreciate you. In fact, I'm honored, like I said earlier. I won't say I'm in awe. That would have been that should be ascribed to God. But I'm truly, truly honored. I watched the Super Eagles. I was a great fan of the Super Eagles. I watched you, where you kept the goalpost for Nigeria, Peter the Rock. So I mean, to be seeing you today and to even hear you speak, I'm beyond words, honestly. When people say people are starstruck, that's how I feel right now. So I appreciate Mr. Moses for bringing you on. I've learned a lot. And I'm sure we're going to do a lot with you in Abuja. There's a group of women, Abuja moms, Abuja dads, and all that. And then our passion, of course, to ensure that our children get the best. And we're going to engage you a lot next year. This information, when you get these things, you want to put them into use. So I'm really, really grateful. It's an honor to be part of this training today. And it's even free. I mean, I'm really, really thankful. Thank you very much. God bless you. And you're looking very well, sir.
Thank you very much.
God has really taken care of you. And
wow, thank you so much. It's God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And I must tell you that this country made me. You all out there made me, who supported me while I was coming up. And I tell you, Abuja or any part of Nigeria you mentioned, I am fully ready to be there, because I know how you've supported me, how this country has supported me, how daddy and mommy, how different people that I did not know where they come from, their ethnic background, but through the same sports, football we are talking about, came out there, stood for me. Some go on their knee praying. I witnessed, permit me to just give you the small story. In Tunisia, 94, before the cup final against Zambia. Before the match, I saw a group of Nigerians just kneeling down by the entrance of the national stadium, Tunisia Stadium, where the match was played. And they were all praying. I look at the other side, I saw Muslims. I look at the other side, I saw Christians. They were all praying seriously. And when they finished prayers, they come as they were entering the stadium. We were still waiting. It's just by the referees hall where the referees do the normal check-in before the match commences. These Nigerians, I was looking at them. They didn't know that I was observing them. Notwithstanding that my profession gives me some qualities, some skills of observation because I'm a goalkeeper. I observe you as a football player when you are around my area, how dangerous you are, how I say, oh, the danger man is here, the thief is here to score a goal. Let me be very careful and watchful. So over the years, that skill has been developed and is now helping me in my normal day-to-day life. I observe them. Do you know that some of these men who were there praying for Nigeria, they were coming from different ethnic backgrounds? By the time they started giving me their profiles, some of them there was an engineer that came all the way, he's an oil engineer from Port Harcourt. There are some from Lagos, there are some from Ibadan, there are some from, they were mentioning all this. I was looking at them, and I was looking at them as the other level of supporting teams that you normally have for a country. These are people who just come to support. But when I got their profiles, these are doctors, these are engineers, but they were out there supporting Nigeria to win, going on their knees to pray, going into the mosque to pray. The name I was bearing has nothing to do with their family name, but they were all there for Peter Rufai, for Nigeria, mentioning my name. And today, look at me, Peter Rufai. Why can't I look back and say, look, this is where I'm coming from? And that is why we are here sitting down together. I will answer that question before I call it a day, which you said at the age, an adult age, you can still discover your talent. But the difference there is, are you ready to take up the challenges of preparing yourself? You know, when you let something get rusted, so you have an assignment to get it polished back, but it is still there. So the talent is still there. It's just a question of, are you ready, or are we ready to polish it out? Once we are ready, it is when the time you polish it, it becomes like diamond. Look into the picture of a diamond. Look at the cleaning process. Look at the final process. It's the same thing with discovery. So it is not too late somehow. It can be handled. It depends, is the individual ready to take it up? That is the question. And if he's not ready to take it up as a professional at the end, the benefit still remains with the person, because the qualities the person will polish out will remain forever. Josephine?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much, Peter, for your time.
Question: if we can help to develop a stadium. In developing a stadium, the question actually, I will answer the question to my understanding. So, developing stadium, is it the real football stadium or the stadium, like the highest peak? You know, from it's like saying from developing a talent from the grassroots level to the professional level or the zenith level. So I assume this could be the stadium, like developing a player from the onset, from the grassroots to stadium. That is it. That is the top. If that is what it means, of course, yes. It's yes, because I have not just because I'm Peter Rufai, not just because I played the ball, but after playing, just before I retired, I now went into studies on how to coach, on how to coach in coaching, and also how to work with aggressive youth, and also how to work with, you have some children, they are so quiet, they are so gentle, they are so loving. In fact, if you tell them, okay, they jog from here to 10 meters, you see the way they do the jogging with some elegance and gentle to their own pace. I had to go for training for all this. Working with children, you need to have something specific in mind. This is the greatest gift of God Almighty. Children are coming from different ethnic backgrounds, different homes, different parenting skills, and different parenting styles they use for their children. So as a coach or as a manager or teacher who is going to stay before these children with different diverse parenting skill, you must go for a course. You cannot just come out and say you want to sit down before children. This is why you see sometimes reports comes in and say, this teacher did not do this right with my son or daughter, or this coach did not do this right, because these are where challenges comes from. So this is why we need those qualities as coaches, as teachers, as even parents. You also need to, even, from time to time, get yourself orientated on the qualities, your responsibility, even for your own children, for your own home, just like we even do in the marriage circle. We even take some classes for marriage couples, so the same thing applies as a coach. You don't say because you are a coach, or because you train children, or because you develop youth at a tender age, the tendency for you to get acquainted with the day-to-day new discovery and the new technology and what is going on in the world today is important. You keep going for courses from time to time to be able to get that sound competency needed, and that dedication and determination and love, passion for that thing you do first must come before you will be able to declare yourself and say, yes, you can do this excellently, or you can do this perfectly. So that question that has to do with can I help to develop a stadium? So I'm trying to figure out that the message I have here before me, the person trying to stadium, like from the grassroots to the zenith. If it is that, we are capable in doing that, because we have passed all through the rudiment on one side, and then on the other side, experience. I have gone through what it takes as a young player from the onset until this very moment I'm talking. So the qualities from my experience and the quality from the teaching department, bringing them together, I can rightly say before now that I can do that. I can help in assisting in raising or developing any child or any group of players to start on.
All right, thank you so much, DODO MAYANA. Thank you so much, everybody. I believe at this point in time, let us say a big thank you to DODO MAYANA for honoring this invitation. And I want to make this very clear. Sorry that DODO MAYANA, you are here and you are hearing this for the first time. But what I know is, as far as Moses Mogbolu is concerned, I always follow the truth. And the truth remains that Peter Rufai, a.k.a. DODO MAYANA, is someone that is very passionate at discovering and developing talent. And from our discussion for over 4 years now, his emphasis has been Operation Catch Them Young, because he understands that if you can get these children on time, the peak at which they will go, you can't compare it to when they get to age 17, 18, for start discovering their talent. So no matter who is involved, the earlier, the better. And in life too, as he mentioned, there are some blessings that you have received. You know that the best thing to appreciate God is for you to give back to the society. Personally, that is what I do in area of marketing, communication, and helping organizations to build their brand. And we have a synergy because that is what is concerned to. How can he raise young ones that can stand in and represent the country in different levels? how will he enjoy his old age? And he told me that the best way he can enjoy his old age is seeing people from different diverse of life being celebrated in the game of football. And he said when he sees this, it gives him joy. And I think this is a very good platform for us to spread the message. If we miss it, our children should not miss it, because talent is something that remains in you. Talent is something that when everything goes, once you discover it, develop it, and you have someone that help you to market it, it's something that you do what you love doing, and you make money for what you love doing. It gives you joy. People celebrate you. You don't struggle for life. Talent is something that God has given to you. And when I started, I said it clearly that everyone on earth have a talent. So the earlier we discover it, the better it is. So you don't restrict the child. Don't think you know the child more than God that created the child. Allow the child the opportunity to go into a training, to identify with others. And by the time the child identifies with others, you as a parent will now confess that truly I took this decision and it's better for me, it's better for my children. So once again, I will want to thank everybody for your time. And as I mentioned earlier, the presentation will be sent to you. Feel free to share with your children too. Let them go through. And if they ask you question, please respond. But in case you don't have an answer, DODO MAYANA has given me the assurance that once you send your question via WhatsApp, he will respond to the question. So there's anything that you need clarification, how you want to develop your child, how you want to discover your child talent, or even you are thinking of how you want to develop yourself too, please just send your question via WhatsApp, and I assure you he's very busy, but at least between the time you send your question to the next 24 hours, you get a detailed response to your question. And for Josephine, as he mentioned earlier, his concern is not for a particular person, but for how to raise Nigerians and get them young. So if you have a group of parents in Abuja, distance is not a barrier. Thank God for technology, we can engage online before even come for physical engagement. Once you have this information, once you have discussed with them and they're ready, just get across to me, and DODO MAYANA will make itself available. Then sure, because the truth of the matter is that when our children becomes better, it gives us joy as a parents. And it will make us to live longer than what we intend living before. So let's take children development as a collective effort, as a community effort, because the only thing that will make our society a better place is when everybody is excelling in his or her choosing talent, skill, and career. Once again, I say a big thank you to everybody. And DODO MAYANA, I want to say thank you too before we all depart.
Yeah, I want to use this special occasion to say a big thank you to everyone that has participated in this presentation. It gives me joy indeed, having this opportunity, this platform to relate to everyone. I look forward next year, 2021, God's willing, and I pray that God see all of us into 2021. Thank you and God bless.
I have done on this particular subject before, which is talent identification. And Mr. MAYANA already pointed out some the rudiment of talent identification, which I really, in fact, it has brought joy to attend this today. I'm very much grateful, sir. God will continue to bless. And in future, I'm willing to go into academy, basically the rudiment of talent identification, which I will be very much appreciated to have someone like you to give me a direction when the time comes. Thank you so much. Mr. Guru, I really very much appreciate it. God will continue to bless you as you impart order. May God continue to increase you and in everything you do. Thanks so much, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Guru. Mine is to just thank you for all this effort you are putting, that you have put into this presentation, and particularly to thank the legends, the living legends, for giving back to the society. Thank you very much. Thank you and thank you.